What's going on, everybody? It's me, Stze here, and today we are going to take a look at some great maps to help you improve your jump skills. Or if you're just here for free PP, it's going to work fine as well. Now, being able to play jumps is probably one of, if not the most important skill you can have in modern O's, and that's not just because of the farm meta. That's because even outside of the 30-second ringtone garbage, jumps are practically everywhere. And yes, that even includes stream maps, cause, well, they aren't just one death stream, which means the segments between them need to be filled up with something, which quite often ends up being jumps instead. Or even just normal maps. I mean, there are basically no maps which rely exclusively on sliders, and well, the ones that do are incredibly underweight, so yeah, it really is an incredibly important skill set to be able to play. And I mean, come on, let's be real here, jumps are also quite fun. Also, if this video ends up doing well, I'm probably going to make an overview about how to practice playing jumps directly instead of just giving you a bunch of good maps to play. So if you're interested in that, definitely let me know by liking this video, and don't forget to subscribe so you can be the first ones to get notified when that new video comes out. But now, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now, in terms of star rating, because in my last video there were a lot of great maps which I sadly couldn't include because they were just above the 4-star line, I've decided that for this one I don't want to have any arbitrary restrictions based on star ratings. But don't worry, this still doesn't mean that I'm going to include dumb stuff like 7-star maps. Now, I know this is a really generic pick and you probably already have this map. But that just shows how good it actually is, and if there's anyone out there who hasn't already downloaded it, do it now. No, wait, do it after the video is done. But like, seriously, it is so good, and even though it says jump training, it's so much more than that, because every single one of its maps is genuinely good. Now, next up on my list is Anime Ban. And yes, I know it's a farm map, but that's just the nature of most jump maps. Anyways, even speaking from a non-farming perspective, its last 3 difficulties are actually quite fun. Plus, I mean, there's no real harm done when picking up some PP while practicing, so I would definitely recommend you go check it out. Next up, it's Caffeine Fighter, and while it's most known probably for being a DT farm map, well, if you can play this with DT, why are you here? But even aside from DT, it's quite a solid jump map, and what's also nice, it's not that short, so you're also going to practice a bit of consistency when playing it. Next up, I've got a map which you probably are only going to play with double time, and it's Angel with a Shotgun. But even if not, it's still kind of a decent map. You're just going to need to be able to read low AR. And yes, everything below 9 is low. And it's because once you move to 4 stars, you'll never need it again. So just go and throw on double time, it's going to be fun. And trust me, you aren't missing out on anything. Next up, the second Nightcore collection of this list, but this time it's Nightcore collection number 1. And honestly, it's quite a bit more difficult than the one I mentioned before. So in this case, I'm only talking more about the first 2 difficulties. They are also not quite as amazing, but still quite good. It's honestly just my personal opinion, I prefer the other one. But I really wanted to include both and just didn't want to have them back to back, so the list gets a bit more diverse. But now, a quick word from our sponsor. Are you tired of constantly having to click circles? Wouldn't it be so much more convenient if there was another way? Well, now there is, because with the relax mod... Okay, I'm just going to stop this mess. Let's get on with the video. Next up, we've got Gold Dust. the newer version. And sure, the old one's also quite good, which is why I'm going to link both versions down below, but since the new one's a bit more focused on jumps, it's the one I'm talking about here. Now, Horrible Kids is another, well, let's not beat around the bush, farm map, we all know that. But because the latter half of the map might as well qualify as corner jump practice, why not include it here in a video about good jump maps? And honestly, if it was made for this purpose, it would serve it quite well, it's just shitty that this map is ranked. And next up, in the same spirit as the last map, it's another corner jump practice which for some reason managed to make it into ranked. Like, there isn't even anything clever or fun to say about it. This is a video about jump practice maps and this might as well be one. Then next up it's Can You Understand Me, which is also my current top play, and I somehow managed to get an SS on it. Now, the nice part is, it has a quite easy to follow rhythm, so you're definitely going to get good act on it. And yes, while it's definitely nowhere near as bad as the last two, it's still a jump farm map. But to be honest, after all, isn't that what you're here for? And lastly, for the non-honorable mentions, it's 1x1, which honestly, in my opinion, is a really solid map. But then again, because I really don't retry spam, there are a lot of jump farm maps which I actually end up enjoying. Because the main thing is, playing jumps is just fun, and here, this is also the case. Plus, I mean, come on, the song's an absolute banger. But now, for the honorable mentions, this time I only got two. One of them, just as in all my videos, is going to be CBCC, cause even though it's probably the most brain dead farm map out there, it is still kind of a good jump practice map, to be honest. Cause, I mean, there's nothing to this map other than PP jumps. Which also holds true for the second honorable mention I've got for you. Which, in this case, it's going to be, well, it's basically every single current as well as future farm map, because that's just what they are, PP jumps. Now, I really don't want to get into what this says about modern day mapping, because that's a whole other discussion, but for the context of this video, it still makes them quite eligible to be great maps to practice your jump skills on. But now, with this, we've reached the end of today's video. I really hope you've enjoyed and found it helpful, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And with that, see you next time.